Beatrice Cardenas, a Republican Party member, who ran for election to the U.S. House in 2020, has said that Meghan Markle would be sued for the teaser of her Spotify podcast that released on Thursday. She said Meghan Markle used a clip of American radio personality Tom Leykis in her intro. "This is going to be fun since he would sue her faster than she can cash her Spotify check for any defamation," Beatrice said while commenting on Spotify's introduction of Meghan Markle's podcast Archetype. Tom Leykis took to Twitter and said, "Spotify, who gave you permission to use my voice in a Meghan Markle promo?" Besides, Piers Morgan took to Twitter to mock Meghan Markle's new podcast, calling her Princess Pinocchio. ITV News royal editor Chris Shipp shared the news via his Twitter page that the former actress' new podcast will explore labels that hold women back. The former Good Morning Britain host, 56, retweeted the article for his 7.9 million followers to see and posted 3 crying laughing emojis followed by, "Is Princess Pinocchio one of them?" The tweet attracted the attention of many Twitter users who were less than pleased with the broadcaster's comment and were quick to jump to the Duchess of Sussex's defense. One user penned, "I thought we agreed that constantly going after a female of color really isn't a good look for you, Piers. I get that obsessions can be hard to kick, but it really is time." Another wrote, "Was you one of those that gave it the big one about anti-bullying and mental health? Give it a rest." A third user said, "Give it a rest. We get you don't like her. Time to move on now?" While several disagreed with the journalist's comment, a few users found the tweet amusing. One user wrote, "Sometimes, very occasionally, you do make me laugh." Another referred to the tweet as comedy gold. While the guest lineup has not been announced, one royal commentator believes Meghan will welcome some high-profile personalities. Russell Myers, royal editor at the Daily Mirror, told Pod Save the Queen on Thursday that the Duchess will pull in the big guns for her newest venture. He said, "This is going to be huge because she will pull in the big guns. You would imagine that she will have lots of very powerful, famous women and women who have overcome adversity to rise up through the ranks in whatever industry and field that they have become successful in. I think it's hugely exciting." Since signing the multi-million-pound deal with Spotify in 2020, Meghan and her husband Prince Harry have only released one podcast episode, a holiday special that featured the likes of Stacey Abrams, Jose Andres, James Corden, Elton John, Naomi Osaka, and Tyler Perry. It appears that the Duchess is going solo for her podcast investigating the labels and stereotypes that try to hold women back. Mr. Myers noted Prince Harry's absence from Archule's latest project. He said, "Interesting that the first podcast was launched with Harry in it, and they've definitely gone in a different direction. This definitely feels to me like a more sensible approach to try and have a real identity, rather than just having them two just chatting away, because that would just be like our podcast." The production of Meghan's podcast was halted amid widespread backlash concerning Spotify's loyalties to controversial sources. Joe Rogan was criticized for using his podcast to spread coronavirus misinformation. Archule Audio held talks with Spotify about reducing misinformation on the platform in the wake of criticism. Rogan has since promised to be more balanced, and Spotify is introducing a content advisory to any podcast episode that discusses coronavirus. Last week, a spokesperson for the Sussexes confirmed that Archule Audio would be resuming production with Spotify after their temporary pause. It has been reported that Archule Audio is encouraged by ongoing conversations with Spotify about the platform's strategy to tackle misinformation and will therefore continue with the podcast. Spotify and Archule Audio said on Thursday, Spotify and Archule Audio both value responsible stewardship of the audio landscape, and as explained recently, are committed to working closely to support transparency and strong principles of trust and safety. Archetypes, which is set to launch this summer, will feature uncensored conversations about how typecasts can influence and change narratives. The 1-minute trailer released on Thursday concludes with Meghan saying, "This is Archetypes, the podcast where we dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. I'll have conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape our narratives. And I'll talk to historians to understand how we even got here in the first place."